Show me love, make a change. Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. Show me light, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got.
Welcome, my beautiful people. Oop, let's full screen it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Lulu-Lee, Inspirational Beauty. It's Wednesday, season 3. Today, we're going to learn how to make some money, honey. No, honestly, today is about riches and riches of all kinds. But if you've seen the promo and you know what we're talking about Think and Grow Rich because we're in the season of manifestation. Wait, let's bring that in. That's right. We're all about learning how to manifest from 6 different teachers, 6 different methods, 6 different philosophies. Episode 1 was last week. We learned a little bit about Abraham Hicks. If you don't know who that is, go check it out. And today we're learning about Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich. But first and foremost, come say hi. Let me know that you're here in the live chat. LA in the building. Let's go. Good morning, Sebastian. Good to see you here, my darling. Hello, hello, game girl Nene. Love to see you here. You should be in school, but I know you're home, so good to see you. Hey, hello from Israel. Thank you, everybody. Always love to see you guys here. Always good to know I have people with me in the live chat. You know, man, listen, today you're going to have to take some notes because I got 1,000 of them. I've been studying this book for a few years. I've been doing the practices. They have been showing me riches, and they're still showing me like I'm growing with it, I'm learning it. And that's the beauty of this book because it's all about desire, faith, persistence. In Abraham Hicks, we learned different words and different terms that they use. Today we're going to learn some new terms too because Napoleon Hill has his terms like definite chief aim or burning desire. Let me see what is Halo saying. Great season. So happy to be here. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you here. I have something to say for Lulu-Lee. Go ahead and say it, please. You're welcome to say whatever you like in the chat. So, if you never heard of the book, where have you been? Think and Grow Rich is one of the biggest book of our time. It's actually been called the first philosophy of personal achievement. It was written in 1928. Napoleon Hill actually, in 1908, Napoleon Hill took a job as a writer in a magazine, and he was sent to interview Andrew Carnegie. He was, the Lord of Steel in America, and it was a really bad time in the economy, so he was sent to interview him about being successful. And Carnegie really liked his vibe and his perspective and invited him to his home for the weekend. When Napoleon Hill spent the weekend with him, they spoke about different things. That at the end of that weekend, basically, Andrew Carnegie offered him a job and told him that he would like for him to interview for the next 20 years successful people and kind of get the sense and the essence of what the formula to success is, because he believed there is a set formula for success. And he told them, you're not going to get paid for it. The only thing you're going to get from me is I'm going to pay for your travel, and I'm going to introduce you to all these influential people. And they say it took the Napoleon Hill 29 seconds to say yes. And Carnegie told him that if it would have took him more than 60 seconds, he would have took the offer away. So let me see. So basically, I see we have some people in the chat, so I'll come back to it in a minute. But I'm reminding you, if you're just joining in, we're in the season of manifestation, episode 2, talking about think and grow rich, and just basically learning different ways and different methods on how to manifest our heart's desires. So in this book, really, there are 13 principles. And why I said get your books and get your notes, because there really are a lot of things that, to learn from and that he suggests to write. Of course, there's going to be homework today, like last week. Did you do your homework last week? I hope you did, because, like I said to you guys, it's not about working hard. It really is just about doing the work. Even in this book, you'll see, what he teaches us, those 13 principles for riches, it's not really about hard work. It's just about being persistent and sticking with it and believing and having faith and burning desire. And the subconscious mind, of course, he speaks tons about the subconscious mind, and how, to create from the mind, because he said one of his favorite quotes, and I have about a million of quotes today too. Wait, let me see. Hila says, hi there, I love this book, can't wait to hear your perspective on it. Thank you so much. And really is, thank you for saying that, because each episode in here, that's my perspective and my way of learning and studying those beautiful, brilliant teachers. So it doesn't mean that, that's the only way. It doesn't mean that the way I say it is the right way. It's just my way. It worked for me. I'm grateful for all the things that I've managed to manifest in my life, through these teachers. And trust me, I manifested thousands of dollars, trips around the world. I manifested beautiful love stories. I manifested so many different things. My career, this show is a manifestation of things that I wrote down. Part of my exercise of think and grow rich was, to be able to have a platform to share what I learned, what I do, my teachings, my language of beauty, because I truly believe I created a new language for beauty. So everything, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That's one of our quotes today from this book. I'm going to mention throughout this episode, most likely Bob Proctor. If you don't know Bob Proctor, he's an incredible man as well. He passed away, I think, like 3 years ago. But he was huge in, like, a businessman, but motivational speaker. And he lived for this book. This book changed his life. And, like I said, because they truly believe that this is the first person philosophy of personal achievement. When I say philosophy, it's not like a set of, like, okay, let me help you with some tips on business. It's not about that. It really is how to guide your thoughts and your emotions to help you to create the life that you want. So, there are 13 different, let me see. First of all, since I mentioned Bob Proctor, I'm sure I know I have some of his quotes in here. So let me see if I can find Bob. This is one of Bob's. If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand, right? So it keeps doing that to me since this morning. It's very annoying that it keeps shrinking me, but I'll deal with it. I'm manifesting that it's not going to do it again. um, so yeah, so everything starts with the mind. I want to share the 13 principles Where are they? There we go. These are the 13 principles of Think and Grow Rich. Okay. So we start, with desire. And if you remember with Abraham Hicks, yeah, didn't manage to manifest this, but I like it. It looks cool on the purple. I'll leave it like that. See? Whatever we desire, I wanted it to look great. Now it looks great. Um, remember with Abraham Hicks when we spoke last week, right? Focusing on what we want, not what we don't want. That's the basis of desire. Burning desire, the way Napoleon Hill refers to it, means a desire that is so strong within you that you connect it together with faith and persistence, and you're not letting it go. Really, that's the formula to become a millionaire. And he interviewed more than 500 of the richest men in America, and one of the things that he said too, that the formula and the constant story and formula that he saw for people who are millionaires, billionaires, and found riches through that formula, through those principles, I'm sorry, is the formula is always the same. You have a burning desire, you go for it, you fail, you learn your lesson, and then you meet with success. And he constantly says how failure is, a trickster in messing with you and trying to get you right before you succeed. So, right here, if you're here, my beautiful people, you have an idea, you have a desire, you have a business that you're running, anything that you want to achieve greatness with, do not give up. I can't tell you how many years I've been doing what I've been doing. It's been over almost 30 years now. And I know I haven't even scratched the surface with what I want to do and how I want to serve and, what I'm going to bring to the world. And I can't even tell you how many people told me, I'm never going to be successful. I'm not going to do it. You know what you're talking about. But first of all, I had friends who were close to heart, even as a teenager, that told me I'll never be a makeup artist, right? But people will tell you what they believe for themselves. So you must believe wholeheartedly in your burning desire and make it your definite, chief aim, because that's really all there's to it. When you believe in it, nobody can move you from. I knew I'm going to be a makeup artist. I knew I'm going to be a makeup artist since I was 4 years old, right? And that's kind of what led me in my purpose. And it developed through everything that I wanted, because when I started my journey of spirituality and self development and self actualization, my burning desire was to bring that to the world through beauty, and I just couldn't figure out how. And then through a moment of inspiration, and I'll talk more about it when we get to the principle. I don't want to bore you with my stories, but it really is like that. Even after I developed inspirational beauty, I sat with a business, strategist, which was also a friend, and asking her and talking to her about, doing what I want to do. And she sat there and just told me, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but nobody's going to take coaching advice from a makeup artist. You should just let it go and just do makeup and hair and stay good at what you're good at. And I said, okay, thanks. I appreciate your input. And I left, and I never came back for another business consultation, because you can't consult me if you don't believe in what I believe in, right? But I kept going because that's what I believed in. And here we are. And I know people receive value from what I do. Every single day I get people telling me about the value. And that's really all I wanted to do it. And I keep connecting that desire with faith. So if you're here because you're trying to manifest your heart's desires, and you're trying to manifest that, that passion that you have, the idea that you had in mind about something to create, my idea was connecting spirituality and self-development with makeup. Nobody ever done that before. I don't know. I still don't know nobody that does it. That's why I know this is going to be great. This is going to be huge. My dreams are as big as can be, because just like we just said, what you can conceive and believe, you will achieve. So please stay focused on that, and share with me too in the chat in the live chat, if you have dreams, if you've been following them, what's your purpose? What's your definite chief aim? How are you seeing your life going through it? I want to move to the second principle, right? Because definiteness of purpose is something that is important, and it cannot be completed without faith. So you got to believe it before you see it. And for faith, I have a slide also for later with my favorite quotes from the book. And of course, here we can start. I'm going to put this as many times as possible today. Scan this QR code. It'll take you to the live audio book, not live, the audio book. I'm live. I'm talking about live. The audio book on YouTube, free. It's about 10 and a half hours. You can do it. It took me 3 days with writing notes to do it again, and it's not the first time. So you can do it too. I'm going to bring this book again. If you don't know how the book look like, this is the book that we're talking about today. That's the focus. Think and Grow Rich. And I don't know how big you see me now, if you see me on a phone, on a tablet, or on a TV, but even in this cover, it says over 15 million covers sold. It already surpassed that so many times. It's over 100 million copies worldwide. Worldwide. Uh, and it was published, I'm sorry, in 1938. But since 1928, that's when Napoleon Hill started talking about it, started talking about visualization. Actually, in his language, visualization, he calls it auto-suggestion, right? Where we program our subconscious mind with our own suggestions, what we want to believe and what we want to see. And it's a big thing that he mentions to that, you know, and I was talking about it. And if you really want to get into the subconscious mind, go to season 1, episode 5, with my guest mate Tal Bar-Oz. We spoke deeply about the subconscious mind, how it works, how you can reprogram it. I even gave a meditation there that I recorded to reprogramming your mind, 5-minute meditation. You can listen to it as you go to sleep. That's the biggest part, because what he focuses on constantly in this book is how the mind works, and how the more we feed it with positive, successful ideas and mindset, the easier for us to be successful in life. He constantly says, you can't think of trying. If you'll think of trying, you'll get trying opportunities from the universe back, or from infinite intelligence, as he called it. So we don't want to try. We want to know. We want success. So we constantly going to visualize success. But let me see what's going on in the live chat. Hila says, oh, I read that already. Let me see. It is the perfect formula: passion plus faith plus persistence. Yes, but not that kind of faith. It's faith. I just want to correct you, because this faith is like what your faith is going to be. And he's speaking about faith like your belief. So I know English is not your first language, but I want to make sure that you know the differences. Where, hello, Joanne. Good morning, beauty. Good to see you here. So I wanted to read you something from the book that he said that he has about faith, actually. And that, it was just so perfect that I wanted to read it as is. So let's get to that. When your mind is dominated by positive emotions, it will encourage the state of mind known as faith. Faith is the eternal elixir that gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of richness. I know that's right. Faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries that cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. Faith is the only known antidote to failure. You know, really, let's focus on that one real quick, because we're going to fail 1,000 times, but we're going to get up, right? 1,001. The only way we can keep getting up and keep trying, and everybody, we all know Thomas Edison, he speaks about him in his book too, and Thomas Edison speaks about that formula as well, as his formula of success. He failed 10,000 times. I don't see anybody in our day and time that will fail 10,000 times and will keep going. We're so quick on quitting, you know what I mean? And another favorite quote of mine from this book, and I actually have a post-it of it. I think it's this post-it has been hanging in here for about 4 or 5 years, more, something like that. Winners don't quit and quitters don't win, my beautiful people. Remember that. Lock it in. Winners don't quit and quitters don't win. That's probably one of the most important things for us to remember on our journey. If you have an idea, if you have a business, if you have a passion, if you have something you want to do, and you have a definite of purpose, you must never quit. Persistence is the key, and mix it with faith that will help you against, the antidote of failure, because it really is the one thing that will keep helping you get up from failure. Faith is the element that, when mixed with desire, gives you direct communication with infinite intelligence, which we'll talk about more about what is infinite intelligence. Faith is the element that transforms the ordinary vibration of thought created by human mind into its spiritual equivalent. Faith is the only way the force of infinite intelligence can be harnessed and used. So, if we want to harness and use our thoughts and everything that comes up from the infinite intelligence, that's how we're going to do it, through faith. And faith can look whatever it looks to you, if it's through prayer, if it's through meditation, if it's through journaling and writing, whatever it may be. But you have to believe. You cannot bring doubt into your subconscious mind. And that's where everything really starts from, because the idea will come from here, but it's going to going to be kept being fed by your subconscious mind, right? And the subconscious mind doesn't know good, bad, wrong, right. It just knows what is. But what it does know and what it does recognize is the emotion that accompanies the thought. So you can think all day that you're ready for success, but if you have that doubt and if you have that fear, the subconscious will pick up on it. And what it throws out to the infinite intelligence will be a doubt, not assurance, not constant, not persistent faith, not full belief in what you want to do. So you have to make sure that when you keep programming your mind, you have the emotion to go with it. And that we do through autosuggestion, which is the visualization. And I keep saying we're going to get to it, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, the hour is over. I swear there's so much going on in this episode. Uh, Sorry, no sorry, my love, no sorry. You have no idea how many times I made that mistake too. Let me see. Hi, Coach. Oh, hi, beautiful Leonor. Thank you so much. Good morning. I appreciate you for being here. Let's see what Joanne says. Exactly. Keep catching when I say trying to change. I will make this happen, or I could do this. My passion and persistence pays off. Say thank you to Phil, because then it sends you to your right path. Yay, beautiful. You know, you said something about failing. One of my favorite sentences from this book, that sentence that just came out of my mouth, one of my favorite is going to be here 1,000 times. Fail intelligently, meaning you're learning from your failures, right? Because the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is how you perceive failure. Because if you fail and look at it as a lesson learned to move on, you're good. You're on the route to success. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take. Let me remind you, KFC, my guy, was 62 years old when he realized that making the chicken is not really going to make him rich, but selling the recipe on how making his chicken so fast might bring him riches. And he sold it to a restaurant and then another restaurant. And then those brothers of this restaurant, I believe there were brothers of that restaurant, decided to open more restaurant with that because it was so fast, that was fast food. And then they liked him and they liked his vibe and asked him to be affiliated with the restaurant. And that's how KFC became KFC. And he was 62 years old when it happened. So, the desire and the persistence is the key, and the faith is key ingredient in you succeeding. So, like I said, I don't know, like, first of all, inspirational beauty, the idea of inspirational beauty started in 2017. So that's what, like 8 years now, going on its ninth year. And like I said, haven't even started scraping the surface with it. So I'm just going to keep believing in what I know it can be rather than what it's not right now in this moment. And remember, we spoke about it last week with Abraham Hicks too. Don't look at what is, because that's going to keep, excuse me, feeding your mind with the failures. But the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is their perception of failure. Like I said, if you look at failure as a lesson, as a stepping stone in your road to success, you're good. You'll be successful. Success will meet you. But if you look at it as defeat and you give up, then you can forget about riches, my love. No money for you, honey. And again, I keep saying money because this book is focused on like the successful people who made different decisions or brought their ideas to life and created richness in money and abundance. But riches, and in general, that formula, and he says that too, can apply to anything and everything. If you're a teacher and you love what you do and you do it deliberately and you enjoy it and that's what you want to do, you're successful. You found riches, you know? If you're a salesperson and all you want to do is just sell to people great things and you love what you do, you're doing it deliberately, you're rich. You're successful. Success means you doing what you want to do deliberately, giving your all to it, having the desire to do it, staying persistent with it, having faith in what you're doing, and constantly being happy about what you're doing. Happiness, connect to the feeling. Again, Abraham Hicks. Let me see. Halo says, I have the same quote in my office for years. I love it. The quitters and win. Yeah, man, it's the best one. Sebastian says, it's going in and I got to run. I'll watch later. All right, my guy. Thank you for visiting. I appreciate you. Joanne says, yes, I embrace the failure. Absolutely. We have to. We really have to. Okay, so we're going to go back to the 13 principles, right? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? I got about 17 different slides today. So the next one is auto suggestion, which I said is your, really it's visualization in our word. And again, diagonal. It just, it's funny to me sometimes how I cannot control this thing. Visualization, imagery, right? Affirmation, creative mindset. Those things together will help you. First of all, will help enforce faith, because that's basically visualization or auto suggestion is the only voluntary way known to mankind thus far to induce faith. Really, that's the only way. When we keep telling ourselves positive things and, enrich our minds with positiveness of the mind, of what we're looking for, of what we want to do, and see it constantly as a success rather than a failure, that's how we're gonna reach what we want. And again, that's big part of the formula. And he talks about the formula too in a great way, where he says, even if you think you know it, or even if you think like, yeah, I got it, I don't need to write it down, you have to write it down. And you have to write down this, which is part of your homework, but I'm just going to give you a sneak peek into it. And later you can take a picture, or you can take a picture now, but we're going to come back to it. There are 6 steps to turn desire into gold. And we're going to get back to it, like I said, because that's really your way of creating that richness. You're going to have to write it down. That's your homework. It's not hard. It's just something that you have to do. And if you really want what you want, you can spend 20 minutes on it a day visualizing it. You can read it twice a day, morning and night. That's kind of what he speaks about all the time in the formula. The next thing about what we want to talk about is specialized knowledge. Why am I looking at my notes when I need to show you your slide? There we go. So learn what supports your goal, right? And that's important, especially because if we don't know, like for me to do what I do, I had to study all these teachers, right? You have no idea how much I listen to like inspiration and think. I don't really watch TV, I told you, and I don't really watch shows. I spend most of my time in reaching my mind with these kind of things. I listen to inspirational gurus, mentors, teachers. I listen to podcasts, of course, that have value in how I can create a better life for myself, how I can self actualize myself. Dr. Wayne Dyer is my life's mentor. He's going to be here in chapter 4. Don't miss it. He's incredible. And I listen to him over and over again. Tony Robbins, he's not part of this 6 episode because Tony is really more the strategy talk, but half of the things that he says are Napoleon Hill stuff. You know what I mean? Like the mastermind part and the decisions part, and there's so many different parts that if you know Tony's work and you're gonna listen to the book, you're gonna recognize Tony's work in Napoleon Hill's work, because every master of self development and self achievement and riches and success known and studied Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a timeless book. And it's still, till this day, the biggest book by all successful people, all entrepreneurs, all people who try to grow. So, learning more about what you want to do, if you have an idea and you're trying to make it and bring it to fruition and make it a success, learn as much as you can, take classes about it, learn different things, like I said. And nowadays, media, social media, internet, you have a plethora of ways that you can listen and read about and learn about more things that you want to do to make your idea or your business a success. Next, I want to say, wait, let me see. Joanne says, the failed experience sharpens my skills and awareness to apply in moving forward. Um, it's a blessing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Agree to that. Let me see. You and your Wednesday morning conversation support my goal. Thank you, Lulu-Lee. Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. And that's really, and see, that's my goal. That's part of the affirmations that I always say, that my work will be here to inspire others, to help others move forward in their life's journey. That is things that are locked in my definiteness of purpose. So when you create something that you want to do, keep at it. Write yourself some affirmation. I have some affirmations for you too. I have a slide of great affirmations that you can start using if you'd like, and they apply to everybody, no matter what you do. And by the way, when Napoleon Hill did this book and this 20-year research, he tested it in all different fields. There are so many examples of people in this book with, riches, and their stories are just incredible. And all of them. Like, well, maybe not all of them, but so many of them. If it's Gillette, if it's Walmart, if it's Barbie, Barbie, for example. And I think that's the next, let me see, uh, imagination, right? Created in your mind first. So when he speaks about imagination, and I loved it, he speaks about two different types of imagination: creative imagination and synthetic imagination. And what he means about synthetic imagination is it really an imagination that you know, you create something through your observation, things that already exist, and your experience. And creative imagination comes from the infinite possibilities or my God. No, I blocked out. So many words and so many things that I'm trying to remember. Oh my God. But the subconscious mind, basically, right? So, and and by the way, his way of looking at it is basically, if you know Carl Jung work, what he considered collective consciousness is what he'll oh my God, I'm stuck with my words, is what Hill considers infinite intelligence. The word intelligence just flew up my mind. So with imagination, for example, the story of Barbie, right? Ruth Handler, I believe her name is, the creator of Barbie. She saw her daughter, constantly playing with like little cutouts of uh, magazines. She would cut out like women and girls and cut out papers of like dresses and try to dress them up. And the idea came to her of like, why not create a doll that looks like a woman, like a teenager, and create little clothes that you can accessorize her with, and all these things, because she saw the need for it by looking at her daughter working and looking for things to play with. The idea came to her mind and it became a burning desire. And with consistency, it became an obsession. And that's what Constantly Heal always says: it has to turn to an obsession, because you have to see the only thing that you want. If you want only that, there is no way you won't be successful. That's the formula. You just have to be persistent, you have to have faith, and you have to follow your desire, and you have to believe in it. All the suggestions, visualization, constantly learn more about what you want to do. All these things are part, those principles are part of the formula. And that's how she created Barbie. And we all know what Barbie turned out to be. And she was, Mary Kay. If you know Mary Kay, it's worldwide, but I know people who are tuning in from the States know exactly what I'm talking about. She worked in a business where she felt like she was mistreated, right? She was coaching people under her, and they kept being promoted before her. And she just got upset that, that people that learned from her are being promoted and her salary is less than hers. So she started writing a business plan on how women should be successful in the field, in working field. And that's back before. Nowadays, thank God, women are get more respect and more opportunities, and we control a lot of things. But back then there were none. And she saw how, really hard and brutal it was for her to try to get ahead. So she wrote that business plan. And when she looked at the business plan, she realized that she created something that can be an independence to every woman. So she took her life savings. She bought a cream that she really liked. She bought the formula for it and the rights to it. And that's how she started really the company Mary Kay, which is women all over the world are basically own their own business, right? If you don't know what Mary Kay is you buy the kit of the products, you go door to door. That's how it was in the beginning, and you sell the products and you make the profit. And that's how she revolutionized women in the industry, in the industry, any industry, but of course the beauty industry, but generally how women were looked at. as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as business owners. You know, the idea came because of, her being annoyed by the fact that she's being mistreated. So ideas can constantly come. Um, the next step is our next principle is organized planning. And God knows that's the hardest part for me. Well, I haven't shared a quote because I've been saying so many quotes, but let me see if I have any quotes in here that I think I have a quote for the next principle. So I'm gonna wait with that. But organized planning is so important because, again, the desire, right, and the idea that you're following is the accumulation and the general purpose of what you're trying to create. But the steps you're taking, those are the goals. You got to take little small goals on the way to create that big dream, that big idea, that big success that's coming your way. So keep that in mind that you have to do, and I love it. Tony says it all the time too. Once you have, once you start on an idea, you have to follow through. You have to follow through massive action. Take it. Doesn't matter. You feel ready. You don't feel ready. Something small towards that success, towards that idea, towards that desire that will actually remind you and let you know and affirm to you that you're doing what you're doing in order to get this done. Right? That helps the subconscious mind believe in it too, because you believe in it. And now you have faith in what you're doing. I said it, for me, it's very hard because I used to be terrible with planning. I'm not going to say I am terrible with planning because I'm working on it. I'm trying to manifest better ways. But it really is a part that it was very hard for me to plan because I'm very like, oh, cool, we'll see what happens. Remember when I told you, if you were here in season 2, when we talked about courageous communication, I'm an intuitive strategist. Things are like, my shows are done like a day, 2 day before. The fact that the idea came to me to do a season of manifestation because I knew the season is going to be short and people have been asking me for years to teach manifestation. And my mentor, my business mentor, was like, why are you not talking about manifestation? You manifested so many things in your life. Tell people how you did it. So I said, you know what? Okay. And when I knew the season is going to be short because we're going on break after into the new year, I was like, all right, I can do that. So what teachers do I want? And that was the first time things were actually planned towards my goal. And I'm loving it. And I'm loving this season. It hypes me up every time I'm here with you guys because I know there's a lot to share and a lot value for you to get from because everybody's trying to manifest things in their lives. So uh next step is decision. Choose quickly and trust yourself. And that's another thing that Napoleon Hill was talking about all the time in the book. When you procrastinate, forget about it. Procrastination is really something that can hurt you in your way to success. And I have a quote for that from Tony. Where is it? And from Bob Proctor, too. So Tony says, it is in your moments of decisions that your destiny is shaped. Absolutely. And I love this quote too by Bob Proctor. You don't get rich by doing certain things. You get rich by doing things a certain way. Can I get an amen? that that is so powerful to me, like getting things not, not in a certain way, not whatever, you know what I mean? So much information in my box, I'm getting messed up. But and that's another thing, like between the decision and then the persistence. Where is persistence? I want to go back to this one real quick. After decision, there's persistence. You gotta keep going no matter what. And one of my favorite stories in the book, and he really has so many incredible stories of so many people that you might know or you don't know, but it's such an inspiring book to read and to hear about all these successful people and that started from nothing And everything started in their mind. It was a thought. And they really just followed this formula, those 13 principles, and they created riches, right? So Darby, R.U. Darby, he's one of the people he interviews, a millionaire in the field of insurance, sorry. And how he started, I don't know if you ever heard the story of 3 feet from gold, but that's how Darby started. He found, he came up on some knowledge about, they were mining back in the early 1900s. And I think it was his brother-in-law. They tried to mine. They found a vein of gold, and they decided to mine. They bought the machine. They started drilling, and they really, after drilling so much, they started coming up empty, and they realized that there's no more gold there. And they quit, you know, and they sold the machine that they bought for drilling to a junkman, and the junkman knew nothing about mining, so he brought in somebody from the outside, and that's another part of the principles. I think, which one is it, where we are, mastermind, right after persistence, right? Surround yourself with aligned minds and people who really know things that you don't know. That's, in our days, that's outsourcing. If you're running a business and you don't know social media, you don't know marketing, we can't do everything. So we have to create a mastermind around us of people that will help us and make us better and move us towards our success with our desire and our idea. So he sold that machine to a junkman that knew nothing about mining. That junkman brought an expert that looked into the mine that they were digging in and told him that they didn't come up with gold because they were digging 3 feet away from where the gold was. And then he dug and became a millionaire. And Darby said that, the lesson was worth it because that lesson kept him going when he started doing his insurance business, and he became a millionaire with that. But he said he called it my stickability over my quitability. You got to stick with it. You can't quit, because guess what? Winners don't quit and quitters don't win. Let me go back to the chat and see what we have over here. Um, Joanne says, "What is one small action step that I can do today?" Exactly. That action is key, and you always need to ask yourself, "How do I have a reminder on my phone at every day at 4 p.m. that asks me, are you in control of your life? Are you doing anything that moves you forward towards your definite chief aim?" I had it, I think, like 5 years now. It just pops on my phone every day at 4 p.m. And I don't cancel it because I love that reminder. I love that it reminds me. And sometimes I answer my phone, no, I'm not in control. No, I'm not doing what I need to do. And so I'm like, yep, I'm in control. I'm hanging in there. I'm doing the damn thing. The next principle is creative energy. Channel emotion into purpose. And that one, in the book, he actually speaks about sexual energy and charisma, and how people with charisma, that don't even know sometimes that what they're doing, but their sexual energy actually helps them and elevates them. And he speaks about the powerful emotions of love, romance, and sex, and how those can move anyone from regular manifestation to like levels of in genius. uh let me see what else I have in here. I want to make sure I go over everything I got, you guys. um Let's go to some other favorite quotes. And then I want to go to the auto suggestion, because what's the next principle? Subconscious mind. So we're going to go to the auto suggestion, and then we're going to go to the other favorite quotes. But the subconscious mind, let's repeated thoughts to the root of them. And let me see. Uh, these are the power of autosuggestion, aka visualization. And those are the ones that I told you I have for you. So you can take uh, shot a picture of this before I put myself on the screen. And that's kind of like an example, a quick example of how affirmations can do good for you. And that you can say those, you can make them up. If you don't know about affirmation, go to season one. You're really going to see that season two was focused mainly on well-being, and there were still things in there, of course, that rely to that. But season one, I really broke down so many things that have to do with mindset and subconscious mind and affirmations and all these things that will help you, be successful and create the life that you want. So all these things align together. That's why manifestation is such a huge part of my life, because I constantly in the mindset of trying to work myself towards my goals. So you have, my mind is the source of my power. I choose the thoughts that build my future. My destiny expands with every empowered choice I make. My inner world create my outer reality, and so on and so forth. The subconscious mind, like we said before, doesn't know wrong or right, or bad or good, just the emotion that is accompanying the thought. So that's why faith is so important when thinking the thoughts we are trying to create and programming our mind. We cannot have any doubt when we try to do that. Okay? So we're going to go back. Let me see if I'm missing anything in here. The subconscious mind, and that's the one that connects to infinite intelligence. And that's infinite intelligence, of course, is the source of intuition and gut feeling and hunch and symbolic dreams and all these things that we always talk about. As I like myself now in this. I like the purple around me. Um, so connecting with the subconscious mind, reprogramming it constantly with all these things that we spoke about, that's your connection to infinite intelligence. And he speaks, and really, again, I'm going to give you the QR code again, because I really, really, really want you to listen to this audiobook. He explains everything so beautifully, so precisely. He gives millions of examples. Like I said, even one of my favorite story is, the grocery cart, right? It just seems like a thing, right? It's just normal. But everything starts in the mind. The seed of everything that we see starts with a thought, right? And the best part is that he always says that every failure has an equivalent successful idea behind it, right? Because once that is formed, the success is right there. We just have to find it. And I'm sure I butchered it because, but I probably have it in my quotes. Let's bring those favorite quotes from the book. Where are they? Is there? Every failures bring with it the seed of an equivalent success. What you can conceive and believe you can achieve, right? And riches of any kind starts with a state of mind. And another one before we get out of this slide, both poverty and riches are the offsprings of thought. How brilliant is that man? So, 20 years. And he speaks about his personal journey with those 13 principles when his son was born without ears. What an incredible story. I can't even begin. I'm going to leave it for you guys to listen to it, but I'm going to go back to the grocery cart. The guy worked at the grocery store and realized that people are struggling. First, they struggled with holding so many things, and he wanted to help them carry more. So they got like a basket, but then the basket was heavy. And one day in his shift, he was looking and he saw a box, wooden box, sitting on like a, like how you call it? Not the word is just flipped out of my mind, but like it's like a box with wheels on it, and you can. Oh my God, not a cart. Never mind. English Hebrew lost. But he saw it sitting on it, and the idea came to his head of putting wheels on their baskets so it will be easier for people to shop. And if they're more comfortable shopping, then they'll shop for more and they'll buy more. And that's how they're going to make more money. And lo and behold, How many hundreds of millions of carts are in the world right now? Right? Follow the idea. The desire was to make people's shopping experience better, to have them buy more so they can make more. And the idea just came to his head. While you listen to the book, an idea might pop to your head, something that you were thinking about for years, but never really got to think of it as a way to make it a success or be something that you want to do. So follow your desires, follow everything that you believe for yourself to have and to be, and it will, it will happen. I'm going to go right back into the chat real quick. Love the direction of this season. Another great show. Thank you, my wonderful Michael. I appreciate your comment. I appreciate you being here too. Always. Okay, I want to see if I forgot anything. Um, oh, the story of Ford, right? That's another great story. That's a story of desire, of persistence, of determination, not giving up. He wanted an 8 cylinder in one block. And he kept telling his people, I don't care. You make it. Obviously, I'm making it short because we're running out of time. But they kept coming back to him and saying, we're sorry, there's no way that we can do it. And he said, you just go back and you find a way. And you just go back and you find a way. And it took them years. But he also knew, and a lot of successful people in big businesses know that their determination is not just being like selfish or like I don't care, you do it. They know that while pushing you, there might still be pieces that needed to create that 8 cylinder in one block that don't even exist yet, but they will become existent and will move from the mind to the tangible while they're in the process of creating that 8 cylinder block. And then it will make it easier for them. But the idea of creating those pieces will come from him pushing them to create the 8 cylinder in one block. And of course, they created it, and we all know Ford nowadays. So it's just incredible to really to listen to all these stories and to listen to the secret, which is not a secret. We all have it within us. It's the desire, it's the faith and following through and being persistent and not letting anybody take you and divert you away from your goal and what you know that is right for you. And I'm sure some of you here listening to me have that kind of desire, have a business, have a goal, have something in mind that you want to create. Go for it and don't stop until you know. And here is how you're going to do that. Let me see. Elle says, hey, happy I can be here live, even if just for a few minutes. Good to see you. Every minute is a good minute. And I hope you get value from it. So, this is your homework, my beautiful people. You don't have to work hard. Remember, you just have to do the work. And I'm bringing this one back. I'm going to put myself in a circle so I can be with you. And I told you to take a picture before. I'm going to let you take a picture again. But these are the 6 steps to turn your desire into gold. So first, define your desire. Write it down, write it down, write it down. If you listen to Bob Proctor, that's all he says. Write it down with his accent. I love his accent. Write it down. So write it down. The exact amount of money or form of success you desire. Be clear and be specific. Name your exchange. Nothing comes without something. So make sure that you write what you are willing to give, learn, or become in return to this desire. Step 3, set your timeline. Oh God, that part is so hard. What? When? But I don't know, 2 months, 2 years? Figure it out. However big your success idea is, be reasonable. Know how many steps you have to take towards that goal. Remember, that's part of the principles. So remember what you have to do in order to get there and do it. Decide a clear date by which you will achieve your desire. And then step 4, write the first steps that you will take. Like I said, you have to create your plan. You have to create the plan and begin immediately. As Tony says, massive, immediate, massive action. Whether you feel ready or not. Step 5, write your manifestation statement, which is basically combining all these 4 steps in one clear, powerful paragraph, and this is your desire into gold statement. And read the statement every morning and every night. We already know that helps program the subconscious mind. If you don't know, where have you been? But we spoke about it in last episode and in season 1 and in season 2. So make sure you allow your belief to grow. Uh, the last two principles are the brain, which is broadcasting your thoughts, like I said before, with your infinite intelligence, and the sixth sense, which we all have. We must trust our intuition. So, this is it, my beautiful people. This is how, we become rich. And like I said, I had all these beautiful favorite quotes. So I'm actually going to bring them on again so we can see a few more. There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Can it be more powerful than that? Wait, I want to be here with you guys. And I'm trying to minimize myself. There we go. Okay. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. We spoke about faith. If you're joining in now, go back, watch the episode from the beginning. Beautiful words about faith from the book that we shared. Knowledge is not power, it is only potential power, people. It's what you do with that knowledge. They talk about the one thing that is the worst way of basically of what we're doing to students and in this country and really every country that I know of, in public schools especially. We give them so much knowledge, but we don't tell them what to do with this knowledge, how to harness it, on how to work with it. So always remember that knowledge is not power, it's potential power. It all depends what you do with it. Love, romance, sex, and all emotions are capable of driving people to highs of super achievement. Please be noticed of these seven most powerful emotions: desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, and hope. And seven most negative emotions: fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, and anger. I hope this episode brought you value. I know I got stuck a lot because my mind was so full with so much information. But we got to do what we got to do. I had to go over everything. Let me see. My sister says, "Toda raba על ההיכרות המעמיקה." You're so welcome. Thank you so much for the in-depth introduction to the philosophy of Napoleon Hill. That's what she says. I appreciate you and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. So, guys, share this episode with anybody who needs some encouragement, need an exercise that can help them move themselves forward into their success and into their riches and into manifesting their idea into reality. I hope, like always, that you can do these lessons and homework. And, if you didn't do the homework from the first episode, do it. Go for it. Check out the episode. We talked about the emotional scale. In here, you get those 6 steps. Write yourself that. I still have mine. I don't read it every day, unfortunately. I read it for about a year or so. It moved me forward, but now I'm in a position that I need to create a new one. So guess what I'm going to do right when we ending this? While I'm all hyped and this is in my system, I'm going to write my new six steps of turning my idea and my desire into gold. Thank you, everybody. Joanne says, thank you, thank you. Another amazing episode. Thank you, beautiful Halo. Don't forget to be kind to one another. Be here next week. We're going to, if you don't know Neville, let me show you this real quick. I know we always pass the hour. What can I do? I talk so much. This is the next episode, you guys. Next Wednesday, Neville Goddard, The Law of Assumption. He is the real OG when it comes to manifestation skills. He is brilliant. Listening to him, the law of assumption is brilliant. Join me, share this episode. Kindness Crew is here. As always, I appreciate you for giving me the one commodity that you can never get back, which is your time. And I truly, truly hope, wish, pray, and believe that you get value when you're here with me. So I'll see you next week, right? All right. Later. Bye. Many blessings.
Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love.